Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving straight into one of the wildest biological mysteries going on right now inside your own body. For decades, we've basically been spoon-fed a totally one-sided story about a specific chemical in our blood. You've definitely heard of it, uric acid. Most of us just know it as that nasty stuff that causes kidney stones or excruciating gout flare-ups. But what if I told you that this so-called toxic waste product is actually a brilliant evolutionary hack? One that literally kept our ancient ancestors alive and might actually be protecting your brain from severe cognitive decline right now.
Is uric acid actually your brain's secret weapon? Let's completely rethink that old belief that it's just a joint-destroying villain. The latest scientific research paints a completely different picture. It's a massive biological double-edged sword, and we're finding out that without it, our brains might be left incredibly vulnerable.
So what is it exactly? Well, when our bodies break down these compounds called purines, which are found naturally in our cells and in a ton of the foods we eat, the leftover byproduct is uric acid. Now, while it's traditionally been viewed as metabolic trash, studies actually show it acts as an endogenous danger signal in the body. But here's the real kicker. It is a remarkably potent antioxidant. It actively goes to work scavenging free radicals and reactive oxygen species to protect our cells from oxidative damage.
To figure this out, we've got to know what a normal baseline actually is. How much of this antioxidant should be floating around in your blood? According to standard reference values from Live Hospital, the baseline varies based on who you are. For adult males, a healthy range sits between 3.5 and 7.2 milligrams per deciliter. For premenopausal females, it's a bit lower, ranging from 2.6 to 6.0. But interestingly, after menopause, a drop in estrogen completely changes how a woman's body handles uric acid, and those levels naturally rise to look a lot more like the adult male ranges.
Okay, quick fun fact before we get too deep into the heavy science. Biology is weird, right? Across the animal kingdom, uric acid does some truly bizarre things. For instance, there's a species of marine worm that actually uses uric acid as a sexual pheromone. The females release it into the water to signal males to mate. Oh, and if you happen to have a Dalmatian running around your house, you should know they have a unique genetic defect. They lack the ability to properly process uric acid in their liver, which means they just excrete it directly into their urine.
Section 1. The evolutionary trade-off. How we lost the uricase gene. Here's where it gets super interesting. We literally have a genetic mystery on our hands. See, most mammals have a specific gene that produces an enzyme called uricase. Uricase is great. It efficiently breaks down uric acid into a highly soluble compound that gets easily flushed away. But humans, along with some higher primates, don't have a working uricase gene. Roughly 30 million years ago, our ancient ancestors simply lost the ability to produce it. Because we can't break it down like a dog or a cat would, humans just walk around with naturally much higher serum uric acid levels compared to other species.
But why did we lose it? Well, it wasn't a glitch. It was an absolute game changer for survival. Millions of years ago, having elevated uric acid helped our ancestors convert the fructose they got from fruit directly into triglycerides. It essentially allowed them to store fat super efficiently to survive brutal periods of food scarcity. On top of that, around the exact same evolutionary era, we also lost the ability to synthesize vitamin C. Uric acid stepped right up as a substitute antioxidant. Today, over half the antioxidant capacity in human blood plasma comes directly from uric acid. It was literally keeping our ancient ancestors alive.
Section 2. The agony of excess. Modern diets versus ancient biology.
So what happens when this ancient survival mechanism crashes into our modern all-you-can-eat world? It gets really painful. When there is just way too much uric acid for our kidneys to process, it stops dissolving in our blood. Instead, it crystallizes. These microscopic razor-sharp crystals settle into the kidneys to form agonizing kidney stones, or they dump into our joints, causing the massive swelling and intense pain we know as gout.
What's actually triggering this overload today? Well, the Cleveland Clinic and Hamad Medical Corporation point the finger at a few massive dietary culprits. High fructose corn syrup is a huge one. It's highly concentrated sugar that breaks down almost entirely into uric acid. Then you've got alcohol, particularly beer and liquor, which actively prevents your kidneys from eliminating uric acid, practically trapping it in your system. Combine that with high purine foods, like organ meat, sweetbreads, or certain seafood, and an increase in overall body weight, and you have perfectly short-circuited that ancient survival system.
Section 3. The danger of deficits. The dementia connection.
3.5. I want you to remember that number. 3.5 milligrams per deciliter. For a long time, docs thought the simple fix was just to crush uric acid levels as low as possible.
But a massive study by Epic Research looked at over 130,000 patients over the age of 50. And they discovered that when a patient's uric acid dropped below this 3.5 threshold, a really alarming pattern emerged.
It is a literal biological tightrope. On one extreme, we know that going too high, above 7.5, leads to those gout flare-ups, kidney stones, and cardiovascular risks. But on the flip side, the Epic Research study found that dipping too low, below 3.5, correlated with increased rates of vascular dementia, non-vascular dementia, and other degenerative neurologic conditions. There are even correlations linking these super low levels to conditions like multiple sclerosis. You just can't have it too low.
But why is low uric acid so incredibly dangerous? Well, remember how we said it's a potent antioxidant? Your brain absolutely relies on that shield. In controlled amounts, uric acid aggressively scavenges free radicals right inside the central nervous system. Studies highlighted by Hilarious Publishing show it actively mitigates neuronal damage in Parkinson's disease and during strokes. It acts as a protective barrier against neurodegenerative decline and even fine-tunes our immune responses. If you completely wipe out your uric acid, you are effectively stripping your brain of one of its primary chemical defenders.
Section 4. Finding the Goldilocks zone. Actionable habits.
So we can't have it too high, and we definitely can't have it too low. We need that perfect Goldilocks zone. Luckily, the Cleveland Clinic has laid out a fantastic roadmap for managing this 3-year diet. It means limiting the high-purine heavy hitters, stuff like organ meats, beer, certain shellfish like scallops and mussels, and heavy red meats. But it also means enjoying gout-friendly foods. Skim milk actually speeds up the excretion of uric acid. Cherries are amazing for their anti-inflammatory properties, and guess what? Your daily coffee is totally gout-friendly because it slows the breakdown of purines.
There's also a surprisingly simple secret weapon straight from hospital dietary departments, and that is citrus. Incorporating citrus fruits, especially lemons, significantly helps to reduce kidney stone formation by optimizing your urine pH. Medical professionals actually recommend a very specific everyday strategy: just drinking lemonade.
In fact, Hamad Medical Corporation gives exact actionable steps for making the perfect kidney-protecting lemonade. It's super easy. You just squeeze fresh lemon to get a 1/4 cup of juice, add 500 milliliters of water. And here is the absolute golden rule. Mix it together entirely without sugar. Remember, sugar, and specifically fructose, is the very thing that triggers uric acid production. Sipping on this sugar-free lemonade acts as a daily defense to keep everything in your system flowing perfectly.
To wrap up how to master this Goldilocks zone day to day, hydration is your absolute best friend. Keep a refillable water bottle at your desk because your kidneys desperately need that fluid to dilute and excrete uric acid. Enjoy that morning coffee. Become a dedicated label reader to dodge hidden sodium and that sneaky high fructose corn syrup. And finally, aim for a steady, healthy weight because rapid weight loss or extreme fasting can actually trick your body into temporarily spiking those uric acid levels.
It's honestly mind-blowing that a single molecule could be responsible for both agonizing joint pain and literally shielding our brains from dementia. We are walking around right now with biological software programmed 30 million years ago for a world that simply doesn't exist anymore. So I'll leave you with this. If evolution gave us this fascinating double-edged sword just to survive the ancient world, how are you going to adapt your daily habits